what is the most common mistake made by people grinding their own coffee beans? So, can't necessarily blame people for doing this because some of the language around coffee has become a wee bit misrepresentative or at the very least misleading. There are a lot of people that think that the finer you grind your coffee, the stronger it will taste. That an espresso grind results in stronger coffee. Now, the thing that results in the taste of your coffee is a direct result of when you get the coffee and how you roast it. If you grind it finer and then you're not using it in an espresso maker, if you're putting it in a cafetiere, say, what's happening is you're exposing that to, you're developing it very, very quickly. The smaller the grind, the quicker it develops. So it takes 3 minutes to brew a cafetiere coffee. If you put espresso ground coffee in a cafetiere for 3 minutes, it's going to be very, very over-extracted. And that thing that you think is a strong flavour is actually just lots of the non-soluble compounds in the coffee that you really don't want in there, that the filter's meant to be keeping out, which are passing through because it's too small.
Yeah.
So the reason we use a medium grind for V60 is because it expresses the water through the coffee in the amount of time that we want it to. The reason we use a coarser grind for a cafetiere, same reason. The reason we use espresso in espresso machines is because we want to express that coffee in 30 seconds, super, super quick.
Yep.
So grind does matter. But
so in simple terms, the flavour in the coffee can run out and give way to bitterness, and the longer you're going to expose the coffee to water, the coarser the grind, the thicker the grind.
Exactly right, aye.
Cool.
So cafetiere, coarse grind, espresso machine, very fine grind, coffee makers in between, grinds in between.
I've one other, it's maybe not a mistake made by people grinding their own coffee beans. Not grinding the beans is something I don't mind doing for our customers. A lot of our customers order pre-ground espresso or ground for espresso, and that's okay if it's coming straight to you from our grinder to their house in their cup. But really fine ground coffee goes off quickly.
It goes stale very quickly. It's got a large surface area.
If you've paid a lot of money and you have an espresso machine, pay the extra couple of quid and get a grinder and grind your own beans so that you can grind them fine and immediately make coffee with them. Because a lot of the fine ground coffee that's sold in supermarkets is already months old. So for me, the most common mistake made by folk grinding their own beans is not grinding them. But yeah, I've heard that one as well. You know, I like a really fine grind because I like my coffee strong.
Aye.
And
I like an espresso blend, but espresso's a type of grind and also a type of roast.
Aye.
So it's
But that's the thing that doesn't help as well, is the supermarket system of grading to make everything seem like it's strong when it isn't.
how many numbers have we got now?
Oh, it depends on the brand, but there's one that's out of 7, and I don't know if it's in caffeine or darkness. So people obviously don't know how strong it is. And this coffee is ground like rock salt, it's really coarse grind, but you made it in a cafetiere, so it's as strong a coffee flavour as you can get out of that coffee. And it doesn't help that some labels will say, I even seen one recently when I was down in Wales at a cracking coffee shop called Corner Coffee. There was a jar of coffee labelled ground coffee. And I said, oh, is this, everything else is beans, is this, you used to do the ground coffee in jars? And they said, no, oh no, it was filter coffee. And I said, oh, you do the ground coffee in jars? No, that's just coffee beans for filter. They've been roasted for specifically with filter in mind, which I can understand as someone that's right into coffee, but as your casual drinker, I think we could be less confusing with how we label coffees, because if you had a coffee filter and you took that home, you'd be disappointed, really. So that's that.
Fact is, you can use a light roast for espresso if you like. It maybe just won't taste the best.